alive! It's alive! It's alive!
I want to play a game.
Hello and welcome to the Sounds from the Grave podcast. My name is Yussef.
My name is Vania.
And I'm Kyle.
And you brought me upstairs to show me your penis? How sweet.
Aww. Well, actually, if you guys are watching on YouTube, sorry to disappoint you. No one's showing me their dick.
We are not showing penises right now. We apologize if you were looking for that.
Oh, right now? So is that going to be like something we add in like in a future
I'm just going to start putting clip art of penises all over the video at like random intervals.
Sounds from the Grave Only fans.
Oh my god.
Only graves.
Only
Only
graves.
graves.
And it's just pictures of like grave cemeteries and gravestones.
Yeah.
Yep.
Off to a good
now
start.
that we have your attention, at least we hope that we have your attention. Welcome to what we would like the month of love and all things red, and including the things that just, flows in our veins called blood and, chocolates and nice shiny things like knives for gifts and stuff. But
we all love shiny
welcome.
presents.
Yeah.
So yes, this is the first episode of our Violet Valentines month. So we're talking horror movies that are based either around Valentine or have very twisted love stories.
Yes, sir.
And we are starting off with a really good one, really underrated one. This was the first time watch for me. We are talking about Valentine from 2001.
I've been watching this since like I don't know, like many years now. This has always been like a gem. This has always been one of the slashers I've always really liked around this time.
Okay. So it's going to be interesting.
Or just if I just feel like watching it.
So it's a good one then. So because that way we have bouncing off of ideas of like me and V haven't seen it before. Meanwhile, you've seen it a bunch of times. So it's going to be like different perspectives on it. So I think it's going to be interesting for us.
Yeah.
I agree.
And just in case anyone was wondering, I am not doing this on purpose, but this just so happens to be another movie that aligns with my obsession with Scream and Buffy, because one of the guys in the movie, the guy that plays Adam, he plays Angel, and then the main girl plays Officer Judy in Scream 4 and 5.
It's a double whammy, this one.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy because this movie was actually released around 2001, but it feels like a much more modern feel to it.
Yeah, it does
Very
have like a newer feel to it. Like there's a couple things that dated, like the people using phones and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's one of those like the early 2000s had quite a few like what I call slasher gems, where it's just like these like really good slasher movies that like a lot of people just kind of overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
And this was one of them, because usually when people think of this month, they think of My Bloody Valentine, and they usually skip over Valentine, or they just don't know about it.
Yeah, like I remember seeing bits and pieces here and there of like pictures on Facebook groups and on Instagram and that kind of stuff, but I didn't really have like any idea what it was about or anything like that.
This was the first time thing for me. I thought Kyle was gonna make us watch like some budgeted movie. Not gonna lie.
No, I'm the resident expert on low budget B movies.
I mean, y'all both are kind of up there, man. I don't know.
Oh.
Listen, you forgot about you seem to forget about the collective dementia that you put us all through when watching Thanksgiving. Because I wanted to.
Hey,
that movie wasn't. Like, how long was that movie? Like an hour and 10 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
It took me It took me 3 days to watch Thanksgiving.
Yeah. And guess what? It took you 3 fucking days to watch Skinamarink. So welcome to my fucking nightmare,
that's how it felt
bitch.
for me too. I'm gonna rewatch it with a friend of mine because she hasn't seen it before, and
oh my god!
And what's even crazy is that I literally was exposed to Thanksgiving on my 25th or 26th birthday when Cece made me watch it over a Discord call, voice chat. Yeah,
Oh no.
it's the plague infecting another, so it's kind of like It Follows.
Oh god. But for a killer turkey.
That movie
Yes,
is
sir.
absolutely
Anyways.
insane. But I also love how like the sequel is called Thanksgilling 3. There is no
There's no
Thanksgiving
Thanksgiving 2.
It's literally Thanksgiving 3.
It's just like, why?
And the whole plot of them is that they're stopping like Thanksgiving 2 from being made or something like that. It's just so
weird.
fucking hilarious. But yeah.
Anyways, guys, so if you guys want to hear us talk about all things killing, go head over to our review from last year and relive the nightmare that it is, our horrible experience, and also the way that I scarred everybody. Just like I was scarred in my life watching it. So please refer to the November episode. Thank you.
Jesus, that episode broke me. That's why we didn't record anything until the new year.
Oh my god.
Because there was Thanksgiving and then like a gap of like 2 months, and then the Golden Tombstone Awards came out.
Yes. We rose from the dead. We waited like the turkey arose. Anyway.
Arise, turkey!
You-
Turkey, arise!
Arise!
But anyway, we're already getting off topic. Let's just get back into this. So yes, Valentine released in 2001. Kyle, if you want to just give us like a quick breakdown of the plots.
So, man, how do I say without spoiling it? So essentially, this group of girls, this friend group, people start getting murdered, and they think it has to do with this kid that they bullied back in 6th grade. And you're pretty much just trying to figure out who. It's kind of you're trying to figure out who the killer is, in a way.
Yeah, it's very reminiscent of those whodunits, like your Screams and everything, where there's a lot of red herrings here and there. There's a lot of suspicious type characters that may or may not be a killer.
A lot of really good, really great kills and a lot of hilarious quotes, and
this is one of the most quotable movies I have ever seen. I will say that much.
Yeah, some funny moments and some one moment when we get into it that is kind of I'm just kind of like shaking my head at like why did the person do that?
Which we'll get to in a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's kind of the basic plot of it. It's just a whodunit type of Scream. I don't want to go as far as calling it a Scream clone, because it really isn't. It kind of does it does different things enough to like differentiate it. Yeah. But like the basic premise is similar. Like even with like the opening kill being, like your opening kill kind of like a sort of a well-known actress with Katherine Heigl.
Yeah.
Because I mean she had been in Bride of Chucky like 2 years before this.
Yeah, I love that that it does trick you with this, like, you don't realize this is a cold opening and this is not actually not who you're going to be with. This is not the person you're going to be seeing throughout most of the movie. Yeah.
Especially because it already has kind of like
kind of a throwaway kill, unfortunately. Yeah. It's almost like Drew Barrymore in Scream.
But like Drew Barrymore says like hardcore, impactful though, because of the way she's killed and everything. Yeah, this one is just a little bit more tame. This one was,
I think it was still tame. Impactful in a way. I mean, how many bitches you think like? Well, sorry, how many bitches? Not me. Like I was like, yeah, this would have been my field if I didn't actually work in television. Anyway, how many bitches that work not work and they study like on dead bodies in med school and then just get killed in the morgue? Mm-hmm. Nobody. So like, come on now. I think it's a pretty it's a really heavy-handed throwaway kill, but still it's a unique way to start it for sure. Yeah.
It's just the opening itself is kind of weird though, just because of it starts off with the younger versions of them and the kid being like, "Hey, will you dance with me?" and everybody's so mean to this poor kid. They just reject him. They don't just say, "Oh, no." They're like, "No, I'd rather die." Or I'd rather get stabbed in the face. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
They over exaggerate.
It's so mean.
Like,
Jesus Christ. And when he finally, is able to get a girl to talk to him and they're kissing and everything, she goes out of her way and says, "Oh, he assaulted me." And I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, because she gets because all
She
the
got
popular
embarrassed,
kids
for making fun of
saw
them.
her, and so she's trying to how it is
and
when in school you everybody wants to be popular
Yeah.
or at least
And
try to
then
be.
they pull a carry on the poor kid and just dump
They
red paint,
absolutely
I think.
yeah they did, and they like stripped his clothes off down to his under. I don't know, and then they
Just like,
like
what
beat
the
him. I was like, God damn, dude.
like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a particular thing you did see in the opening in that opening, the kid whenever he gets, I think it's like whenever he gets nervous, or if it's like a particular
Or maybe it's just some kind
yeah,
of disease that he has or something, yeah.
yeah, or just or like it seems to do with like certain things trigger it, but he does get nosebleeds.
Yeah. Or maybe like
And
stressful situations. Will
yeah,
sometimes
Yeah.
another
give him
stressful
nosebleeds.
situation. Yeah, he gets like nosebleeds, and this is an overall thing throughout the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That
Because when we
yeah,
get to our killer in the cherub mask, sometimes you will see blood coming from the nose of the
blood.
cherub
Yeah,
mask. So you're like, okay, so that gives us a hint that it is this kid that
the
they
kid
bullied.
from the beginning.
Question
Yeah,
is, when you have all these
who
male
is it?
characters, who is that one guy?
Yeah,
Especially because this movie, you could change the name from Valentine to Toxic Masculinity, the movie, because every single male in this movie is a piece of shit.
they're all terrible.
They're all
terrible.
garbage human
All fucking
beings.
garbage people. But before
and basically, that's the pool in Florida.
I mean,
If you're single,
it's
if you're
essentially
single.
just men in general.
It's the dating pool in Florida.
No,
Jesus Christ.
I'm like Tinder, okay, Cupid. I mean, if you're feeling a little lonely in Valentine's Day, you might want to take the old-fashioned way.
Mm.
Like, meet people, meet your local psycho killer. Ask out your high school friend. Maybe he got hot, or
he could have had a glow up.
yeah, could have had a glow up,
But,
but no, don't do speed dating. It's
Oh my
it's just the
God.
modern day Tinder and okay.
I
Cupid.
did it once at NegaCon a couple years ago, and it was
I've
like
never
one of the
done speed
weirdest
dating.
experiences I've ever had in my entire life.
I've never done a speed dating.
Me
It was just
neither.
weird because like it's so hard to set up a conversation because by the time you like feel comfortable enough to talk to them, it's already time. Like time's already up, and you
Yeah.
have to talk to the next person. You're like, who the fuck are you? I don't know you.
But before we continue on with the rest of the movie, there are a couple of news things.
Oh yeah, we definitely want to get
that
to that.
happened that dropped this week that I want to talk about, and I'll save the best for last. So first, this one take with a little bit of a grain of salt. I don't know how true it is because it is coming from a site that I'm not really see much. And I don't really know how credible they are. I looked at what their other stuff that they claim that they have broke, and it did like work out. So apparently, according to them, Guillermo del Toro has a deal with Netflix, and he's doing like a bunch of other movies. One of them, this next one he's doing, is he's supposed to be redoing Frankenstein's monster or Frankenstein, whatever you want to call it, and supposedly Oscar Isaacs is playing Dr. Frankenstein, and the news that broke this week was that supposedly Andrew Garfield has been cast as Frankenstein's monster.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Very interesting. If
So it's-
true, that is very interesting.
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield as the monster. I never says he out of everybody I thought I'd ever like see cast in it as the monster. I never would have. This would be like the lowest on the poll.
honestly,
I mean,
after seeing something like after seeing
I love
something like
Andrew Garfield as an actor. Like I
Yeah.
think he's a great actor, but it's just like you think of Frankenstein's monster and Andrew Garfield, and it's like you don't see it.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Dang it, I forgot what I was gonna say. I lost my train of thought. Whoops.
Yeah, but supposedly, and like we don't know if it's gonna be based off of Mary Shelley's book, more based off that, or more based off more of the Hollywood approach
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
happened in recent
if
years.
they go with the book version, I can see Andrew Garfield in there because the Frankenstein's monster in the book is extremely intelligent. Like he has like sweeping
Yeah,
speeches in the book, so I
yeah,
could see that being a thing. If they really want somebody with those acting chops, they can do Andrew Garfield really well with that.
yeah,
But if they're
and
going for just like zombie like Boris Karloff Frankenstein, then it's weird.
yeah,
Yeah.
and with Gilmoro del Toro doing it, I could see him probably doing trying to do more of a focus on the book
I
because he
think so
seems to
because
be
yeah, he's really
yeah
he's gone on record as to say that he loves the story of Frankenstein, like not just the movie, but
yeah
like the lore and the book itself. So
yeah.
I'm curious because
I mean, either way,
because at the same time knowing Del Toro, he might go for something completely different from anything and just
yeah.
put his own look on it.
I mean, either way, I'm excited for it because with him, it's in good hands, and I
Yeah.
think he'll do it
Oh
justice.
yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was interesting. Like I said, we don't know if it's true or not because it's just unconfirmed site. I'm waiting to see if Bloody Disgusting or Fangoria picks it up. But it's interesting, something to keep your eye out for.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Uh, on the next one, it's apparently I think it's next month. Welcome to Derry TV series for HBO starts filming, and if those who don't know if that was being made, it's basically a prequel HBO series for it, and it follows the story of Pennywise, and it's supposed to be set in like 1960s Derry,
Interesting. Very
and
cool.
it's supposed to be
Cool.
set to release I think in next year, early next year.
Hmm.
I think it'll be cool seeing a HBO series as with that with the budget that HBO has
Hmm.
for stuff. I think they could do really good with they
Yeah.
get a lot of good people attached to this.
I'm just curious what they're gonna do with it. Like, is it a prequel to the current movies, like the Andy Muschietti movies,
I heard it was
or is it more of just like a
the article I
prequel,
read. It was a prequel more to the Stephen King.
like the book?
Yeah,
Because I thought the book was set in the 50s. That's the thing, or at least like the first half of the book
or
when they're kids was set in the
or,
50s.
or maybe it was the TV series. I don't remember. It's something like that. I don't know
Okay.
if it's more. I don't think it's more on the movies like
Mm.
the more recent ones. But
Because
yeah,
if they end up going like in the book route of that, I want to see
yeah.
them talk about Space Turtle,
Oh yeah,
the fucking Space Turtle. Stephen King was constantly high on coke.
yeah.
And he's like, you know what would be great for this book? A fucking space turtle. And a child orgy.
What the fuck? That was the weirdest shit ever. Like,
Stephen King, you gotta lay off the coke, buddy.
yeah,
We're glad you're sober now.
but yeah, that's interesting. And now we're going to the last, but the best in my opinion. Yussef actually broke this to me, and then
Oh,
I
yeah.
looked up and I flipped out when I saw it online. So bloody and all confirmed sources, Bloody Disgusting Fangoria. Everybody's been talking buzzing about this. There is a I Know What You Did Last Summer sequel set in the realm of like a legacy sequel. So I'm hoping that they're just going to ignore the third one because we don't talk about that one. Absolute fucking trash. That sequel is set to be being made by Sony, and there's talks of Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt returning to reprise their
Yep.
roles.
Oh, and it's already been confirmed. They're coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they are confirmed. Okay.
Yep. They got confirmed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I saw like it's to the point where even like non-horror media was picking it
Yeah.
up. Like I think it was like Entertainment Tonight or something had an interview with
Yeah.
both of them, and they're like, "Yeah, we're excited to get back on the horse." And you're like, "Oh my god,
Oh my god.
holy shit!"
Do you know how fucking stoked I am for this? Like y'all know I love Scream, but I know you did last summer's right there with Scream for me. Like
Yeah.
I'll be there. Night one advanced screening.
And
of
it's
this.
funny because we were talking about that. We're like
Yeah,
'90s slashers
I
are
think we were talking about that.
having
yeah,
a resurgence
yeah.
again. Yeah, because you have that.
Yeah.
You have stuff like Fear Street that's very much like a '90s type slasher.
Yeah.
You have the Scream sequels that are coming out now.
Yep.
You've got to know what you did last summer and all this kind of stuff now. So it's interesting how time, like as time goes on, because in the early to mid 2000s it was all the 80s slasher reboot craze, and now it's like the 90s legacy sequel craze.
Yep.
So it's interesting.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that what they mean by legacy sequel is that they're ignoring the third one and it's just a direct sequel to the second movie. And I love that they're bringing them back. This is gonna be great. But no, like, it's gonna be funny because I saw someone someone made a funny thing where it said what's this one gonna be called? I vaguely remember that one time summer 20 years ago. What you did 20 years ago that summer.
or even funnier, it's like, what was that? What the hell did we do that summer?
Yeah, what did we do that summer? or my cousin's brother's aunt told me what you did that summer.
Funny enough, I think a really like meta title would be "We All Know What You Did Last Summer."
Yeah,
that'd be an interesting title.
And all of a sudden, it gets announced that that's the title.
Oh my god! Did I just manifest this?
Yeah, but
I will say I've been really weird about manifesting things recently. I don't know why. Yeah. Like I will be like, I manifest this will happen, and it's been happening, and I'm like, what the fuck? Yes. Have I transcended? Am I the new Shaggy?
Oh my god!
Are you challenging me?
Yussef the new Shaggy.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you got the wrong Scooby Snacks, Kyle, because clearly something's in this motherfucker's food, I swear.
Apparently.
Well, it's because I'm not gonna spike Kyle's Scooby Snacks. Those are my personal supply of Scooby Snacks.
Exactly.
That's all the protein bars he eats. That's hipster dad for you.
But yeah, that was the little fun news stuff. I'm obviously all of them they're really cool, especially if that one's real. But super stoked for I know we did last summer. As before we get back into it, we did all. I do want to say all of us. We are all going to go see Scream. We recently got our tickets.
Oh yeah!
Super stoked. Do you know what a hassle that was? Because like I'm part of like I'm in a Scream group chat, and like one of the dudes that's in it, he's like he's a critic that gets invited to stuff like that, to like advanced screenings and stuff, and so he gives me all the inside info and like when stuff was on sale and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so he was like, hey, tickets are gonna be on sale Wednesday, and I was like, oh, do when one or and I was thinking one, and then he finally got back with me. He's like, no, it's 8:40 a.m. that morning. So like I set all my alarms for like 8:20, 8:30 to make sure my ass was up, and I was on that AMC app. And as soon as they dropped, and we was a little disappointed because right now they're only showing in 3D. But we have a plan to fix that once the showtimes start. But yeah, we got our tickets and we're all stoked. I'm seeing it. Yeah, I'm seeing it with CC and whoever else wants to join us on the 9th, and then I'm joining the big group for the 10th.
Yep. I'm so hyped for that, man. You have no idea.
Then hopefully, whenever we get a time to, we're all gonna go see it in 40X because it's showing 40X at Regal.
40X Scream 6 is gonna be wild. I want blood spattered all over me. Exactly. I want to get stabbed.
Yep. I want to get thrown off.
I want to hear Ghostface in my ears when he's on the phone.
He better call me. He better call me.
Ghostface. Like every single time he calls somebody in the movie, you get a phone call too.
Yeah, my phone rings and then people are constantly telling me to shut the dude, turn your phone off. I'm like, I can't help it.
He's just like, hello, Kyle.
But yeah, that was I'm excited about that. But yeah, let's get back into it. We had our opening, which was a really awesome Morgue kill, and you kind of get thrown off by it being a cold opening. And I love the fact that he just slit her throat and just zipped her back up and just left. It's like if people wasn't actually looking for her, they wouldn't have found her.
Yeah, exactly.
But I will say there is one thing in this scene that I would like to talk before we move on. What the fuck was the thinking of the killer moving the cadaver and put it in the thing and then getting under the covers. Do you realize that she could have stuck that scalpel and stuck it in him, and because like what was the point of that? Why did he do that?
Just for the cool factor.
Yeah.
It was like a really dumb thing. I love
Well,
her.
to be fair, a scalper must scalper. Wow. Yeah.
Scalper.
Scalper.
A scalper.
Yeah, scalpel. Anyways.
Somebody selling
Some
overpriced tickets in the morgue.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no, it's the morgue scalper.
Anyways, like that thing is like hella small compared to like, yes, it's very sharp, but and it will slice. But come on,
Yeah.
like I don't think that it's like that major damage compared to he had a whole ass cuisine art knife. Like, come on now,
Yeah.
like
He had a whole ass
Titanium.
Cuisinart knife.
I'm just like getting in the mindset of this killer. It's just like he literally had enough time. He put the Valentine card on the locker to distract her, and then had enough time to move a whole cadaver into a closet, and then get undressed and get under the thing in the exact same way. It's like, God damn.
The amount of time that it took him to do that.
Yeah, only to just so he could breathe and scare her, and then disappear, and then back in clothing.
the ultimate TikTok transition, honestly.
But yeah, that was it was really that was my little head scratch of the movie. I was like, what the hell is that? What was the point of that?
I will say this though, like this movie, like with the way that the mask is done, and obviously like the outfit. Like I was like, I wonder if like Happy Death Day had like some kind of influence, like they pulled influence from that movie. I was just like,
I didn't even think about that. Wow.
Yeah.
It's very possible.
It's very similar to Happy Death Day, but this is like over 20 years before Happy Death Day.
Yeah, of course, but it's just like, but this is kind of like a holiday, like what this is Valentine's Day, and then Happy Death Day is like trying to come after her on her birthday. Happens to be with the knife. Happens to be like a baby that looks all freaking in the well, not a baby, but a Cupid face kind of looking mask and all this other stuff. Like,
yeah,
I will.
There's nothing wrong with saying, "Hey, you influenced me. I exist. Hi, I'm Blumhouse." And yeah, so welcome to Jackass. So.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier too. We find the cherubic mask is so creepy.
Yeah, just the look of this killer is really good. Like I love the whole all black trench coat thing, and then just the cherub mask.
Yeah, the cherub mask
so
is
cool.
So like it's got such a weird look to it.
Yeah. I think it's because of the all black, and then it's like the really colorful cherub mask. It kind of throws you off, and it's just kind of like it's really terrifying to see.
Yeah, for me, it's just more of like the actual like facial feature.
Yeah,
of it because it's just like the face itself is just weird. But
I did like the whole tradition of like giving the girls the cards, and it always seems like so colorful, or it has the cherub, or it has some kind of nice little poem, and then like at the last little pop-up second, so there's like some messed up message and all
the Valentine's cards are the coolest thing ever in this movie.
I was like, damn, I want one. The fuck? I want someone to slice my throat. But that's one way to spice up my life. Shit, the fuck? Knife play, everybody.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'd like to remind y'all.
But
you keep bringing it up too. It's not the first time you brought up knife play.
Yeah. Take a shot every time Vania mentions knife play in the podcast.
Sounds from the Grave does not condone alcohol abuse.
I drink a Monster.
Well, you said take a shot. So like we don't, and we will not be paying for hospital bills either.
Exactly.
Because you did that to yourself because you listened to Vania.
It could be a shot of water, a gunshot.
Give me a shot of liquid death.
There's a lot of death.
That was nothing. Give me another.
Speaking of guns are non-existent, almost non-existent in this movie. almost.
There was like
but
one gun at the end, I think.
you're right.
But
But after this morgue scene, let's
yeah,
take us to our next stuff.
because well, scene wise, there's a lot of really great scenes in the film that
Right.
because we're gonna talk scenes first, then we're gonna talk about like kills. 'Cause we're not,
Okay.
So I want to talk about stuff that happens that doesn't necessarily involve a kill.
Gotcha.
And definitely part of that opening is that date that Catherine Hegel is on with that one guy that talks to him about himself in the third person.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's like
yes.
Jason likes your coat.
I've definitely been on a date with a guy like that. They exist.
Oh my god!
They
That's
fucking exist.
disgusting.
And I slashed his tires.
For me, it's stuff like that. I did like that one scene too with the girl that plays Sheriff Judy in Scream when she keeps hearing the elevator going ding.
Yeah.
And that one guy that keeps like rhyming her name with other stuff for some reason. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, is that gonna be your fate, Kate? What would you? It's just
He's like, you're scary, Gary. Like,
Scary Gary.
You fell for the bait, Kate. And it was just like, who is this guy?
Why is he doing this?
Like every sentence, he would rhyme with Kate.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like this is your fate, Kate.
oh my
Don't be
God.
late, Kate. And she's like, stop.
Yeah.
You're so
like
annoying,
Dr.
Gary.
It's like Dr. Seuss wrote the dialogue for this character. But yeah,
That scene was it was just so funny to me.
Yeah, that. And then, like I said, go back to the Jason kills me. Like Jason likes sound from the grave. Kyle thinks Jason needs to shut the fuck up.
And I love that he shows up again in like the art gallery scene too.
He does, yeah.
For no reason, he's just kind of there and then like gives like the girls a creepy smile and then just disappears from the rest of the movie.
I was wondering why he was there. I was like, okay, cool. He's about to get killed.
No, he's just there.
He's just there.
Just by pure coincidence.
Yep.
And I also really enjoyed the scene. I don't know why, but I enjoyed all the scenes with like the horrible shit happening to men. So like the scene in the party where the guy takes Paige upstairs, or Denise Richards' character, and just drops his pants.
Yeah,
she's just like, "Oh, you took me upstairs to show me your penis? How sweet!"
Yeah.
And then it's just the awkward stares back and forth, and it's just like,
It's like the literal like face to face equivalent of like the guy on Snapchat that's like, "I send you dick pics, please respond."
Yeah.
yeah.
That's literally what he's just staring at her like, "So you just gonna do something?"
I showed you my little willy. Please respond. Please compliment it. Please tell me it looks normal.
And then I
Does
just
it look closer? Wait.
I love. At first, I was like, "Paige, really, you gonna do that?" But then I realized what she was doing when she just like ties him up, blindfolds him, and then like fucking burns his dick with hot wax.
Yeah, with hot wax. But me and Yussef was talking about this. So before this, he did tell her to wax it, and then she said, "Do you want me to wax it for you still?" And he said, "Yeah." So then she pours the wax on him. But now, even though that's hot wax, when he's screaming, it sounds like a scream of pleasure. We think he actually
like
liked
he
it
was into it.
And
I think he just got mad because she walked away.
Yeah.
That's that's how BDSM was created, y'all. Dumb ways to die. Okay.
Yeah, he definitely liked that.
Yeah, those are some of like for me like the most memorable scenes of the movie.
Well, then you also got to remember that. We'll get to that when we get to kills. But yeah, the men just are fucking awful in this movie. I'm trying to think what's some other great scenes. When I can't remember her name. When one of them gets a box of chocolates.
Oh yeah.
Kate?
Or
was it Lily? I think it was Lily.
Is it Lily? Lily, yeah.
Yeah.
Lily gets a box of chocolates, and then she like bites into them because they're trying to read the card to figure out who it is, and so they stop caring who it is, and then the chocolates are filled with maggots. It's like fucking great.
So gross.
So gross.
They're disgusting, and then they're sitting there trying to figure out who it is, and they're just like figuring out because like it just says JM. And then they figure out they said Jeremy Milton, and you find out Jeremy Milton is the kid from the beginning of the movie.
Mm-hmm. And then that's when it sets up the mystery of, okay, with all these men that have been introduced, who is Jeremy Milton?
Yeah. My personal favorite Valentine is the one that I'm had a brain fart. The other friend, not Lily, the rich one.
Okay.
Dorothy.
Yeah, Dorothy.
Dorothy. Yeah, when she gets hers and it's like roses are red, violets are blue. They'll need dental records to identify you.
Yeah, I was like, ooh.
Oh, that's great.
Damn.
Yep, and then she's just kind of like, what the hell?
Kind of like brushed it off like nothing, to be fair.
Yeah, no.
It's like, well, probably some stupid idiot.
It's like, who the hell said that?
But I will say it is a little bit. Oh man, that's like talking about the end though. But like, it was a little sloppy writing there. I will say that.
What?
A little bit of it. Of the.
What was sloppy writing?
I think it was the fact that she got a card, and obviously it was creepy and that kind of thing. But things that happened at the end of the movie, which I do not want to say right now,
Okay.
doesn't match up. If that makes sense, I don't know. Because I'm like, why would you gift yourself? Yikes. Doing
True.
scoop. Yeah. But things. Anyways.
Thanks.
But yeah, and especially like in this movie, you can obviously tell that obviously in a group of friends, there is obviously the hot one. The hot one is the one that gets hit on the most, but is obviously the most diligent one because she's like, I'm not dumb. She's just kind of in the moment. She's like basically Miss Independent. Like she's like, I just do what I want and I live in the moment. And if someone comes around, I live in the moment kind of thing. But she's definitely like has the most like wittiest of insults to men most of the time, which
because I mean she's so used to men hitting on her all the time that she just like comes up with ways to fuck around with them.
Yeah.
That's what I liked about her. That's what I liked about her character too. Is like she, instead of being the cliche like hot one that just lets anything happen, she doesn't let anybody take advantage of her.
Yeah,
she's a strong independent woman.
There you go.
Strong independent woman.
I like or I'm just gonna call her Judy. Or Kate. She plays Judy in Scream. That's the only thing I know her from. But yeah, Kate's a really good. Kate's a really good lead, though.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah,
she was because like she's like one of the only ones actively trying to figure out who it is.
Yeah.
So everybody else is kind of like, he's just some scrawny nerd.
Yeah, but like Yussef's not kidding when every single man in this movie is the goddamn worse. It's like even the detective that's trying to figure it out is just a perv and was trying to get with Paige at one point.
Yeah,
yeah.
and
I do like that piece of dialogue. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, where he's like where they're sitting at the police station, and she's like, Detective Vaughn, please remove your hand from my thigh, and he's like, oh, where would you like me to put it? She goes, how about up your ass? But
then obviously he was like reading the room wrong because he's like, what are we gonna do with this tension? I'm like, the fuck with the tension, like
tension. Yeah. He was so obvious about it too. He was like, okay, everybody else leave except for you, Paige. You stay here.
But I love that she gives the other girls that look like, yeah, look at this idiot.
Yeah, every guy in this movie is the worst. Like even just this like really weird club, this like weird art
Oh yeah,
gallery
the art
thing.
gallery guy.
The guy who was in charge of the art who set it all up, he's so fucking weird for creepy for no reason at all. He like is like making out with this one girl, and then another girl comes in and is like, oh yeah, hey, I invited her, come in here, and she's like, no,
Just
I don't want
watch.
that.
What the fuck? Yeah, honestly, every man in here is just garbage.
The absolute worst. Like not a single redeeming one.
No.
But it's funny because we have anything from old lovers to new lovers, and this is where like where they're trying. Well, not all of them, to be fair, but like they're trying to figure out who has been sending them the creepy shit. And it seems like they also like treat Jeremy as a kind of like a folk, like of the boogeyman, like a little tale, because they just think it's him the entire time.
Yeah. And you also find out that like I said at the beginning, where the girl says that she it was Dorothy. Dorothy said that Jeremy attacked her. You find out that she admits that she lied about that, and because of her lying about that, they actually had him like sent away.
Yeah, to like a
to
mental
reform,
institution, or
yeah,
to
to a
like
mental
juvenile
institution
and stuff like that.
and
Yeah.
everything. They pretty much just like screwed this kid's life up because of a lie.
Yeah.
So in a way, you're kind of like, I mean, do I feel bad that they're getting killed? I don't know.
But at the same time, it's like you kind of had it coming.
Yeah, you kind of had it
Because
coming.
you really literally ruined somebody's life.
Yeah, literally. And then like the one dude who you think is a good, who you think maybe for a minute might be a good dude. It turns out he's a thief, and he's literally using Dorothy to try and get her
To just
money
steal
for her trust fund.
her trust fund.
Yeah, he's like, I'm like, oh my god, dude! There's
Literally
there's not
every
a
man in this.
single redeeming. Like, literally, I think the only one you could say anything good for was the dude on the speed date who doesn't know how to talk, who just
The one dude that
say
couldn't talk to women.
Yeah, it paints his.
And he just like
Come
smiles.
on. Yeah, he's like,
Poor,
Yeah, but we
poor
see
guy.
all sorts of men. We see guys who talk
Yeah.
about themselves into football. They're into artsy stuff, but it seems like they're into the polyamory kind of freaky shit.
Yeah,
That part
A
in
lot
the
of random
museum.
stuff in there.
Then you like have like so many different types of males that women encounter trauma. Anyway, but
and then you also got the main guy, David, or Angel from Buffy. He's an alcoholic. I mean, not that, and
Adam Carr.
it's not just that he's like that he drinks; it's that he actively hides it and lies to his girlfriend about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even though he's trying to just win her back, but then honestly
Yeah.
he just can't hide that
Just
that
horrible
part
at
of himself kind of thing.
Yeah.
Even though it is my first time watching it, I definitely have to like say like I'm a little bit thrown off by the choices that were given at the end of this movie, but I'll talk about that later. But it's definitely one of those things that throw you off, like, is it or is it not? That.
Well, like Yussef said, Yussef told me earlier that the ending got him for a minute. He had a thought where he's like, "Is it?"
Yeah. Just
Because,
for like
like I
a
said,
second, I was like, wait.
Yeah. For like, because when we get like the ending has a little bit of a where you're kind of like, okay, maybe it's not what I thought it was.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll get to that in a second. So yeah, we talked about some of our favorite scenes. I think we've kind of delved into some of our favorite characters because that kind of leads into our favorite scenes. So I think we all can agree we really all loved Paige.
Yeah.
And Kate.
Paige and Kate are like the two best.
Yeah, the two best
Honestly,
characters.
she had the most iconic way to die.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's stereotypical, but I was like, damn, honestly, me too. Me too. Me fucking too. Honestly, if I could die like that, it's all good. Hey, at least I kind of have a nice watery grave and in red with roses.
Also, I just realized, ironically, with that kill and someone else that's in the movie, we unintentionally threw hints at one of the movies that we're covering. As well.
Totally did.
I just realized that. I was like, what?
Whoops.
How do we keep doing this? We keep like
hinting at the wrong but like super obviously.
Like making it so obvious, but hinting about hinting, and then also unironically bringing in Scream and Buffy characters in every movie that we watch.
It's ridiculous. It's like the MCU, but for Scream and Buffy. But yeah, I think we can all agree that the Paige and Kate are our two favorite characters. All the men are garbage.
Garbage, yep.
And yeah, and it's pretty much, like I said, there's two best characters right there. I kind of enjoyed, even though she was barely in the movie. I think her name was it Trudy, the girl that barges into the party and says, "Oh, he's just after your trust fund." The one that gets killed next to the sauna.
Oh, you're talking about the girl.
Because she just barges
the girl
in.
The girl who has the worst luck of walking into a room that the killer just happens to walk through the door to dump a body.
I think that's Ruthie.
I just like her because she just barges into this party. By the way, bitch, your boyfriend, he's just after your trust fund, and like blaming her for it. And I'm just like, it's his fault.
That necklace that you're wearing, that was mine. He stole it from me.
And like, why are you? But it's like, why are you mad at her? Be mad at the guy that stole it from you.
I know. It's one of those where it's like, they're mad at the other girl, but not the guy.
It's just like when it's literally the guy's like fault 100%.
No. But I just love the fact that she just like goes in that room and he just comes busting in,
just
body, like,
dragging a body.
Looking at her.
This is not what it looks like.
Well, this is awkward.
Oh man. But yeah, we talked basic plots, we talked favorite scenes and favorite characters. So I think this is a good little stopping point to get into our grave robbing facts. So we got some really interesting stuff for you guys.
Then we'll hit our kills and then the ending.
Yep. And then our final thoughts.
Good. Sounds good.
All right.
Grave robbing facts time.
Hey guys, welcome to our Grave Robbing Facts, where we talk about all the basic facts that go behind the scenes on the movies or a TV show or a hunt or anything pop culture related in the horror genre that we are covering, anything that happens behind the scenes and what goes into making them. So we are now covering Valentine, since it's a part of our series for this little month of love, month of slashing and hatching and fucking and that kind of thing. And y'all, I'm looking at you, Scorpios. Anyways, but besides that, let's get started.
Yep. So, our first grave robbing fact, there was a lot of talk about restoring the trim kills and releasing a director's cut, but unfortunately it's all been from fans, and Warner Brothers has not shown any interest in releasing an extended cut. You bastards.
Those bastards. Would love to see a director's cut of this.
Yeah, me too.
And it's something that I actually was discussing with Kyle before we started recording. We both noticed this when we were watching it. There's a lot of stuff that like could have been a little bit gorier. It looked like it got cut up, like edited wise, kills wise, and the reason for that is because this movie came out in 2001, and it was still really fresh after what happened in September 11th. So they purposely like tone it down a little bit because they just like
wait. Yeah. That wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
That wouldn't make sense.
What do you mean?
Because this movie came out on February 2nd, 2001, and it was before 9/11.
It came out.
So IMDb lied to me.
It came out February 2nd. It came out on my birthday.
Are you serious?
Wow.
Holy shit. That's great.
IMDb lied to you.
IMDb, how could you? You've always been so nice to me, and now you lied.
Yes.
I've been betrayed.
But anyway, I'm
Those
sure that there
bitches.
was some weird
Probably somebody that
voodoo
put it in there.
or like Matt, like 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 bad manifesting on us, and they're like, no more gore, no more things for people. People are gonna go through their traumatic
Exactly. Yeah.
thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, maybe it was the universe on that year.
Could be.
Could be. So, our second grave robbing fact is one of the very few trailers. This movie had one of the very few trailers for a theatrical film a to feature a female narrator.
Nice.
Yeah,
Very cool.
this is really cool.
I know, I'm used to movies just having that real deep voice, dude.
One man.
Yeah.
One banana.
The number one movie of the year.
Yeah, the number one movie of the year. Critics rave.
But I'm like, that's every movie though. Why is every movie the number one
Yeah.
movie?
Critics rave. Skinamarink is the number one movie in America.
Oh my god.
Scariest movie I've ever seen. Yes.
I only survived 20 minutes of that movie.
Really? I saw it in theaters. that was interesting to see in theaters for sure. Our next fact is at a cost of $10 million. This is the cheapest film to ever have a Super Bowl spot. I can't imagine a movie like this having a Super Bowl spot. Like, holy shit! The marketing part really was like, yeah, you know what? Let's do it. Let's put this in the Super Bowl. People are gonna love this.
Yeah.
This screams football fans.
I mean, but the Super Bowl does take place in February, so I guess it was fitting, especially since even now, like since it is Super Bowl weekend, kind of.
Hey, we're getting our trailer for Fast 10. Let's go.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where it's fitting to show.
Yeah. Well,
Especially
I think it's just like what's weird because you really don't see a lot of horror movies advertised during the Super Bowl. You usually get your big action or superhero movies.
You're right.
Yeah.
So that's why it was kind of an anomaly at the time. And even then, like you still don't really see horror movies advertised during the Super Bowl.
Period.
Yeah. But anyway, our grave robbing fact: the studio was originally considering Jared Leto for the role of Adam, who had starred in Blanks' previous film Urban Legend, before going with David Boreanaz instead.
Oh my god! I don't know if I would like this as much.
Oh
if it
god,
was
no!
Jared Leto.
See, that's when it.
What in the Suicide Squad? Even though that didn't happen yet, but still.
Plot twist: Patrick Bateman shows up. He's like, "Hey, Adam, do you like Valentines?"
No, he's just like, let's see Adam's card.
It's the Valentine's card.
yeah, dude,
let's see Adam's
they could have done that.
No, we should make a super cut of it, just like that scene, but then like the close-ups of like the girls holding the card.
Yeah,
The subtle white lettering. Oh my god, it's beautiful.
I sent Yussef the meme the other day where it was like I forgot who it was, but it was Patrick Bateman said, "Let's see so and so's drip."
Oh yeah,
and it was
it was a Jared Leto wearing a Morbius shirt.
Wearing a Morbius shirt. Yeah.
All right, so our next grave robbing fact is when director Jamie Blanks first got the script, he assumed it was a reboot of My Bloody Valentine 1981 and initially passed on it. Ironically enough, a reboot did eventually happen with My Bloody Valentine in 2009.
That's funny.
Imagine not even reading the script, just seeing Valentine. I'm like, oh, no.
Nope,
pass.
never mind.
Hard pass.
Oh my
Nope.
god. That's hilarious. Our next fact, Marley Shelton, or Officer Judy, discovered while filming the speed dating scenes that she was allergic to synthetic wool, which is the material her scarf was made of, making the scene agonizing for her to film. Oh my god.
That would have been that's terrible. So maybe her looking uncomfortable at the speed dating was actually her fucking dying of wool
legit.
allergy.
Yeah.
Dang.
That's interesting to have a wool allergy.
Our next grave robbing fact here: the maggots in the candy scene with Lily Voigt was inspired by a childhood incident involving Don Coscarelli. When he saw his father eating a candy bar in the dark, and all of a sudden he started spitting it out, it was just loaded with ants.
Oh, bro.
What the fuck?
He's like, what the fuck? You see his tongue gets all bitten up by ants. He's like, what the hell?
That's insane.
Gross. Blech.
Our next fact, Catherine is it Hagel or
Heigl.
Heigl? Catherine Heigl has disowned the film, claiming that she hates it. She didn't read the whole script before accepting her role, only the scenes containing her character. In a 2005 magazine interview, she said she regretted the decision to appear in the film after seeing the final cut of the film. What the fuck?
Interesting.
I mean, come on, this is.
I'm over here like, listen.
What?
You went on to be in Grey's Anatomy. You like, shut up.
Yeah.
Be grateful you are in an underrated horror movie.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So our next grave robbing fact is. Wait, was that my turn? I can't tell.
Yeah, you got this one.
All right. Then Denise Richards and Catherine Hagel have the least screen time out of the 5 lead women, which are the first ones to be credited.
Yeah, I noticed that in the credits. I was very confused. I was like,
but they die first.
Kate, I was like, but Kate was the lead woman. What the hell?
Yeah. It's funny because I was watching this movie and then like my fiance comes in and he's like, Catherine Hegel. I'm like, yeah. And then it's like, huh, interesting. Oh, like music by this. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, oh, but she's definitely gonna die first. Why is she credited first? And I was like, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But he's never seen it. So he's like, this looks familiar, but I don't know.
Yeah, this movie had one of those like early 2000s slashers, alt rock new metal soundtrack.
Well, yeah, because I think at one point in the party aren't they playing Disturbed?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm like, is that Disturbed? Yeah, but our next grave robbing fact, this one made me laugh. The opening cadaver that is being dissected by Catherine Heigl is played by a producer's assistant named Chad.
Nice.
I love that his name is Chad.
And she called him Chad throughout the scene too.
Yep.
That was great.
He's like, oh crap. You know what it reminds me of? The freaking horror makeup show at Universal? When they're like fighting over who's gonna be like the cadaver and then they just stop. Chad!
Yeah. Our next fact, Jamie Blanks tried to avoid overly referential dialogue so as to not compete with the likes of Scream 96, but he couldn't resist having Kate refer to Adam by saying he's no angel.
Yeah.
I did.
I kind of noticed that too.
Then when she said that, I was like,
Hey.
I get that.
It's like the Captain America meme. I understood that reference.
Yeah.
All right, so our last but not least grave robbing fact is filming of the outdoor scenes were continuously interrupted by a real asshole, according to Jamie Blanks, who kept having to be laying on his car horn until they paid him to stop. This happened in Canada, so Blanks speculated that it was the visiting American tourist. Blanks remarked that people can be jerks after the incident. Yikes.
I love that he's like, it was an American, for sure.
Yeah.
It's got to have been an American dude.
You just like this guy's just sitting there blowing his horn every time they start filming
What an
until
asshole.
they pay him to stop. What the fuck?
Like you see him in the credits, asshole honking the horn.
Yeah, this is asshole in there. That would have been funny if they would have included that.
Like at the, how like at the end of the credits they always have like the special things to like this person, that person, so and so. But it's like and a big fuck you to the guy who kept honking his horn.
I mean, Wes Craven put that in Scream.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah, because like originally they were supposed to film it at the high school in Santa Rosa, but they didn't want to have violence inside the school. Even though they had already agreed to a scheduling, so like a month, like a few weeks before the shooting started, they canceled it, and so they had to move to the community center. So like if you watch Scream, go through all the credits and you'll see a thing that says "and no thanks whatsoever to the Santa Rosa public school thing." And he just calls them out.
That's great. I love that.
As they should. But yeah, those were our grave robbing facts.
Yep. So yeah, there was a lot of fun ones in these. Like, they weren't like super behind the scenes. They were just like more funny than anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, these were like fun to dig through. But yeah, those were grave robbing facts. Let's get back to our regularly scheduled programming. And welcome back to our discussion on 2001's Valentine. So we talked favorite characters, parts of the plot, favorite scenes, but we gotta talk about the good stuff. We gotta talk about favorite kills. And Vania, right off the bat, I'm going to you first. What is your favorite kill? Tell me more. Tell me more about your favorite kill.
Well, it's the one where Paige, unfortunately, the thing is, like, that's how I want to go. Like I have stated, I just want to go in a really nice mansion, drink a little champagne and all this other stuff, have a mysterious, like, person just drop a little rose for me. I'm like, oh, so cute. Like, and then I was like, I don't care if we're together, but I need you to ask me directly if I want to be your Valentine, and then not answer me, so I can get really mad and frustrated. And then, there's a pop-up surprise where I just get shoved into the pool, drown, and not drown, but like struggle for air. And somehow there's a magic plastic or glass door that's above me. It's like the scenery in a what was it, in the aquarium, but I am the aquarium. And then I have my hubby just drill me in the most non-sexual way. So,
my God.
Honestly, but I think that's like a little bit almost like poetic in some shape or form, because she wasn't the independent one. She was always like, she like takes care of herself. She's with herself. And obviously she'll mess around with guys because she can tell that she draws a lot of attention from guys, and she knows that she is, but she's smarter than that. She's like, well, I care about my own. I live in the moment, but it's kind of like she dies in a pool of, red and, just within herself. And, it's a good time. That's my favorite kill, other than the one with Catherine in the beginning. But at the same time, that was very bland, as you guys can see. It was just like, but I think it was kind of creative. I'm like, how long did it take you to get inside a body bag by the time he came in? We'll see. Like, but other than that, I think that was like the most took in kill. And I think that it took its time in the right way, while I feel like some of the other kills were rushed. Y'all were awfully quiet. Jesus Christ.
No, we were just letting you say your stuff.
Yeah.
All right. V has a very opinionated, like, I'll go yeet. Fine.
No, that was a really good kill.
Yeah,
I kind of wish they wouldn't have wasted. I wish he would have done more instead of just dropping it and electrocuting her. Like, I wish he would have done more with the drill, like, instead of just hitting her a couple times and then electrocuting her.
I thought he was gonna do more with that.
That it would have been enough to kill her, honestly. Like, probably, and especially blow a fuse too. I was like,
yeah.
But then again, everything was sensitive, and back in the early 2000s, everything you drop water on anything, even like the little circuit, like everything goes out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Your internet, you can't call after 9 anymore.
Yeah, by far my favorite kill is Paige's as well. I just love how like intricate it was, because it wasn't just like, I'm gonna drown you. It was like, I'm gonna throw you in the water, close the lid on the hot tub, and then start freaking using a power drill to like drill around the lid, just trying to get at you.
Yep.
And when I finally do just the one scratch, I'd be like, all right, I got bored of that, and just toss the power drill into the water.
Yeah. Well, if you can say anything about this killer, it's that he's very creative, because he does not use the same weapon throughout. He literally almost every kill is different. weapon, and it is great.
I agree.
Yeah, like as far as mine though, obviously, everybody's consistency seems to be Paige. I think is more of the effects of it. I love the way they killed. I think it's Trudy
And the shower.
with the shower
Yeah,
glass.
that was also one of my favorite kills too. I
that was
loved
sick.
how yeah.
That
Especially
was great.
I like the lead up to it too.
Yeah, the lead
Of her
up
like
was great.
hiding in the sauna and everything, and the
Yeah.
killer just coming back and forth. It's like, I see you. Yeah, I don't see you.
Honestly,
Maybe I do see
like
you.
during that whole scene, all I could think about was like, "Don't kill me, Mr. Ghostface. I want to be in the sequel." But it's like, shut the fuck up.
But no, like the way he
Wrong
like
movie,
Yeah.
bitch.
the way the killer like pushes her up against the wall and like breaks the glass and then grabs her
Yep.
head and like slams it down on the glass. Like, oof.
Yep.
It's great effect work. But
That
listen,
and
we gotta talk about the ultimate kill though. The ultimate kill in
Uh-oh.
this movie. The beheading of the police officer and
That
the
you don't even
extremely
see.
fake head.
but a fake
Very
ass head. Yeah, you don't even get to see him get killed. You
He
just see
he just gets killed off screen.
super fake ass.
And like
head.
they're really fake.
It's so
I
bad.
was very confused. I wasn't sure if that was Adam
I
at first.
had to
Or
go
if
back
it
and see it,
was-
yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was Adam because I was like, the police officer is a little more dark skinned. Why are we using a white head? Like, but
but
like,
also kind of throws you off because when on the head, the note that Kate gives Adam, the IOU TLC, is in the water as well,
Yeah.
right?
which
Yeah,
is kind of weird.
Because you're thinking,
Uh-huh.
oh, so then either it was Adam, because you don't really get a good look at it unless you go back, or
Yeah.
did Adam do it and he just left the note there?
right.
But another besides that one, one other one it's just kind of just random because it just kind of you just don't expect it when he pulls out the fucking bow and arrow and shoots that one girl at the art gallery. I'm like, what the hell? He pulls out a bow.
He's like, I'm
And
taking
it had
it.
like
I'm
little
doing it old
hearts
school.
at the end of it. I was like, oh, that's kind of cute.
He's just like,
Yeah,
I'm doing this one old school.
Yeah, he hits her, and then like we said at the beginning, you see the blood drip down from his nose,
Mhm.
and then he kills her, and she falls over the railing into the trash, into the dumpster. It's fucking great.
Perfectly happens
it's
to
like,
be perfectly.
Oh,
Yep, taking out the trash.
Perfectly timed dumpster.
But and then you got fucking you got what's his name? Scary Gary, who is sniffing. I forgot whose apartment is. Was that Kate's?
I think it was
apartment?
Kate's apartment. Yeah.
Yeah. He's sniffing Kate's underwear, and then like the killer shows up, and like Gary's like, this is not what you think it is. I am not well, man." And then
I am not well.
I'm not well. Then he hits him with a fucking iron, puts it on his face, and then beats him to death with it.
That's some creative shit.
Yeah, I mean he took an axe to what's his name to
Campbell.
It's Campbell's back after he like and Campbell says the stupidest shit like he lit the pilot light and he goes, "Yep, I think that's deserving of a new Porsche." That took like 2 seconds, dude.
Honestly, I like Campbell almost had me because I thought it was him the entire time. And I'm like, watch that be Jeremy. But he changed his name and is all digging up an old person that the only person that like I guess cared about him. Not cared about him, but gave him a chance, kind of, but not really. And then that kind of thing, but then that turned up to be an entire mess within itself. So
Yeah. All right, so done with kills.
All right.
Let's
So
talk about this ending.
so
Obviously, V's got some thoughts.
So ending wise, when like I said earlier, this ending had me for a second. So okay, and let's discuss what happens in the ending. So you have Kate. I was gonna call him Angel. So Angel, it's Adam though, right?
Adam
and Dorothy are like the only 3 survivors left.
And Wax Guy on the bed.
Oh yes, and a wax guy in the bed who just gets abandoned upstairs. Nobody ever comes to look for him.
You never hear from him again, but he is still alive.
But Kate is like, okay, I know who the killer is. It's definitely Adam. So she hits Adam a bunch of times and he just keeps walking. He's like, just let me explain everything. And at first you're like, maybe it isn't him because he just got caught drinking again.
Yeah, I will say though, he was being very not subtly sus with the way he was like walking and like talking all slow. Like he had that whole
Billy Loomis vibe.
He had the whole Billy Loomis villain dialogue going. It's like where you got me, so I'm not gonna hide who I am.
Yeah,
anymore.
and that. But then I thought, oh, he's just drunk.
Yeah.
And I like I said, it got me for a second because then they're both together, and the killer comes out of nowhere and they just shoot him dead, and you're like, okay, so it wasn't him. So what the hell was it? And they take the mask off and it's Dorothy. For a second, I was like, it was Dorothy?
Yeah.
But then immediately after, I was like, that doesn't make any sense though. What was the motive behind that? There was no motive.
They do set it up
with like a little earlier.
Because she does have an entire jealousy meltdown where she basically like goes off on Kate about how jealous she is of all the other friends.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, okay, is that what they're doing? But yeah,
maybe it's a whole jealousy thing, but
it's Dorothy.
Yeah,
or is it?
Sure.
So they kind of use like Jeremy and Melton kind of as like some kind of vessel as the boogeyman in kind of shape or form. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I thought Adam was just Jeremy, but he just happened to have been there the entire time, like just like living under the shadows, just to do something to them when they like in the right time, basically being in the right place at the right time, kind of thing. But then that wouldn't have made sense. Honestly, like that whole ending. I mean, I'm not saying it's like a mess, but it was just like, damn, like really though? Like I thought the same thing as Yussef, but at the same time, like I get it with Dorothy because she lied about the having to have locked him up away. And then also like the whole jealousy complex because she was fat and she wanted to be like the other girl. She ended up getting money and then she obviously didn't get like the perfect relationship either. Her boyfriend's dead. So yeah, like there's just a lot of too much to back up a motive in some shit.
Yeah. What got me though is the way it was being like written and acted. So I was because they were making it kind of obvious that it was Adam, and because of that, I was like, that's too obvious. It's got to be somebody else because like that. There's no twist to that. But they still kind of got me where it's like, oh no, it was Dorothy. No, it was just Adam.
Yeah.
So it was like a reverse red herring.
Yeah. So basically, after they reveal that it's Dorothy, the cops come and everything, and the movie ends with Adam holding Kate. Obviously, they're all fine and back together now, and she's forgiven him.
Which still kind of sucks because he's still an alcoholic.
He's still,
You should forgive that.
Yeah, but and all of a sudden blood drips down on her face, which she doesn't really have a reaction to. It's kind of weird. And then you look up, and Adam's nose is bleeding, showing that he is Jeremy Melton, the killer,
the Cupid killer.
I'm sorry, I was right because I was like,
which I thought was great. Yeah, which I thought was great because, like I said, I'm a huge Buffy fan, so it was great seeing Angel as being the killer. And I always love when one of the things that can almost guarantee to get me to love a horror movie or especially a slasher is when they get away with it.
Yeah, like something like this, something like Black Christmas is what. That's why I love Black Christmas because they never actually catch the guy, and they not only that, the body of that girl is still in that attic.
Yeah, but yeah, it's. Fucking Adam, and my only issue is that I thought it was, besides the little fake out, I thought it was painstakingly obvious throughout the whole movie that it was Adam because literally he would disappear and then the killer would be there.
And that's why I thought I'm like it's too obvious. It can't be that because that just defeats the purpose. But then that little it works because that little fake out for a second got me to hesitate.
Yeah,
and I was like, no, wait, I couldn't wait.
Especially when the killer was literally Sean in the party, and then the next scene is Adam showing up in the party, and you're like, huh, that's a little sus.
Yeah. Yeah, because I know when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, wait, Dorothy would not have the time to like go somewhere and hide and change into the clothes and then go back out and.
Oh, yeah.
but yeah, I thought it was interesting how it was kind of played out.
Yeah.
And to the point where it actually did throw me for a loop for a split second. So I'm like, hey, you know what? I'll give you that one, movie. You got me. So in terms of like negatives, I don't really have a whole lot of things I didn't really like.
Yeah.
Outside of like what we explained with like that little like head scratching thing at the beginning.
Right.
Yeah. I'd say that there's quite a few off-screen kills, or that's kind of bad, and then just the fact that it was just so obvious that it was Adam the whole time.
For me, it was like at one point I think like the girls like just didn't take what was happening seriously, even though they were being killed off.
Yeah.
Like that kind of annoyed me. I'm like, you'd think they'd be a little bit more freaked out and like trying to focus more on who is killing them. But no, they're just like,
no, they're focused on their dating life. It's just like, oh.
They literally were, yeah.
Yeah, and that was kind of like, really? Like,
Because like I think there's even the scene where one of them was like, "Oh, well, I did this. Well, then obviously that means I'm next." And it's like they don't even really. There's not really. They don't really.
They like don't care about their own lives. Yeah.
That.
Yeah, but that's really like my only negative stuff about it. Other than that, I really enjoyed this movie. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like the kills were pretty fun. The dialogue was great. The acting is it's just acting. It's not like Oscar worthy, but it's not terrible. It's fun.
Yeah. Nice variety of weapons.
Oh yeah. Creative killer for sure. And like interesting stuff with the locations too. Like the art gallery was like a really interesting, like dynamic place.
It was, but it was also really fucking weird.
Oh yeah, I know. But like, especially when Paige is just like standing by like the giant screen that's just some dude's lips. He's going, "Love me,
love me,
love me."
Love
I'm just like, what the fuck is this?
And then you go on past that, and it's like basically just straight up porn.
Yeah. But like as a location for a kill, it was interesting. But as an art gallery, I'm like, what the fuck is this shit?
He's like, I worked really hard on this. I'm an artist.
Dude, what are you on?
What?
What about you, V? Do you have any other negatives?
Not really, other than, just the little nitpicky stuff of like, I was like thrown off at the end, but not really though. The thing is like, all right, this is like at least this is what I initially thought after I thought it through. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But like my initial thoughts at the ending, and I'm like, why Adam though? Because I'm like, Adam's just an alcoholic. He's just like that guy that's trying to make up for all his wrongdoing, Like it's just like I was like, oh, like like the girl's like, you have to prove to me that you've changed in order for me to like, and then he's trying to
believe
prove himself, that kind of thing. And he's being kind of like the I'm trying to change kind of boyfriend to this getting caught, and that is like really, but like
I feel like
there was no weighing of importance to him, if that makes sense.
I feel at the same time feel like his whole thing about actually wanting to be with Kate might have been that he like actually did love her.
Yeah.
And like the other girls he didn't really care for because they're the ones who kind of like treated him the worst.
Yeah. I think if I were to have gone like watching the beginning, I would have to pay attention to that because there's like some major like really big hints in the yearbook within itself, because I was paying attention as like how the letterings would change after each rejection, but one didn't really change all that much. But I didn't catch the name when I was watching it. I was just in the moment of watching, in the spur of it kind of thing.
Yeah, but also, throughout you always heard them talk about how, you're going to break up with him. He's an alcoholic. He'll never change. Maybe he actually really did love Kate, and obviously he wants to get revenge on them for what he did to him, what they did to him in school. But maybe he also wants to get rid of them because he sees them as a threat to his relationship with Kate.
Yeah,
right.
That could also be a possibility too. Yeah.
But do you guys think that Dorothy and him were working together?
No.
It was literally just him.
It was just a complete coincidence.
Yeah, he just frames
her for it. Yeah, because like I said, she doesn't. outside of like that little jealousy thing, she doesn't really have like an actual motive for going as far enough as to kill everybody.
Yeah.
Like, sure, she's jealous and everything, but like that doesn't really translate well into like her killing everybody, unless it was like something that they, or like she's constantly getting bullied in the friend group or something like that. But it doesn't really happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why I didn't really like after I like saw her face and got after the initial like got past that initial shock. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. It's got to be Adam.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only thing I was like kind of nitpicky. Uh, I from the initial thoughts because there just wasn't a lot of weighing importance on Adam, and it just happens. Everything's to have just fallen in deep coincidence of how
Yeah.
everything happened. But I mean, it's fine. I mean, it doesn't have to always correlate to a plotting together.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different way of storytelling.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a really fun movie. If I have to give it a rating, I'd give it like an 8 out of 10 headstones. Because a couple issues here and there, but for the most part, it's really fun. It's enjoyable.
I'd probably go with an 8 as well.
What about you, V?
I'll give it a 7.5 out of 8. It's a solid film. It's just a solid. It's like one of those things that you want to just pop in there just for the sake of like, oh, it's the holiday. Let me just.
I think it's a fun like party movie to like watch with friends and just like
Yeah.
make
That would
fun of
make
like
me
the
wanna
horribly
watch,
toxic men and just like the funny dialogue and everything.
I'm literally like thinking about switching my movie now for my bachelorette party, but we'll see.
Like
I was gonna watch
Like,
Freaky and Mean Girls, but I'm like, sounds freaky out now.
Like when I was watching it by myself and I was just laughing on my own. I'm like, this is so much fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, I give it an 8 out of 10. Like I think that's I would say like that would be I guess our average score for it because it's only like 0.5 off for you. So
Jason likes that score.
Oh my gosh.
God damn it, Kyle. That's what I get for messing around in the group chat yesterday when everybody's like, so where are we gonna eat after the movie? I was like, a restaurant.
A restaurant, yeah.
and all I see is like right after this, God damn it.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, that was our discussion on Valentine. If you guys haven't had the chance to watch it, I would definitely recommend that you do. It is on Tubi. You can watch it for free.
Yes.
And it's definitely worth it.
I mean, it's free, so...
Free? Why would you say no to a free movie? It's like, sure, it has like 3 ads. That's it.
Yeah.
That does not kill the movie in any way. But yeah, that's really all we got for you. So before we head out, we're going to do our basic housekeeping. So if we want to start off with you, Vania.
Hello, everybody. So I'm a part of this podcast. Hi, how are you? But I'm also in charge of my own little like fan page on horror stuff. Mostly more concentrated on Halloween Horror Nights. Right now I'm trying to just strictly focus on Twitter until I'm able to stabilize my YouTube. But I feel like I say that every episode. I promise. I just can't afford Adobe right now. But yeah, you guys can follow me on HHN Cultist on Twitter. And if you guys just want to subscribe until whenever I do get back into the groove of YouTube, you can also go there as well under HHN Cultist. But there are other more interesting people in this podcast. I'm either going to name drop them or probably completely ignore the other option. But I guess I'm going to go with the newbie. Hi, Kyle.
Hello. Hello, everybody. I'm Kyle. I'm the newbie. You can follow me on Twitter at Kyle S. Prescott. And I don't really have anything else.
All right, Kyle. Now, way to keep it short and sweet.
Yeah.
I was about to make a joke when you said I'm the newbie, and I'm like, is this the newbie trivia?
Oh yeah.
Are you Maria Menounos?
No. I swear to God, if you do that fucking dolphin laugh. No.
Fucking Maria Menounos laugh. Anyway, I'm Yussef. You can find me on my personal stuff on Twitter at @BYussef and on Instagram at Yussef1220. And then for our podcast, we're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. S Sounds from the Grave. Actually, also, I almost forgot. I am also on Slasher, the horror social networking, as if I'm not mistaken, I can't remember the numbers that I put at the end of it, but it is definitely eating Dorsia, which I love.
Yes. Yes. Reservations with Dorsia.
Reservations for Dorsia. So you can find me on there. And then for our podcast, we're on all the social networks. We're gonna be on Slasher pretty soon. We haven't set up the account for it yet, but you can also find us on there. And then
I think
for our podcast, we're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, anywhere that you can listen to podcasts. We're on.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Kyle?
I was gonna say for our podcast also we should migrate to TikTok as well.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, we should do like a little TikTok thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do
Be
that.
fun. Yeah, so
And
keep your eyes peeled. We might be on TikTok at some point.
Yeah.
that's right.
But yeah, that's really all we got for you guys. So we hope you have a good day or good night, and that you stay spooky.
Stay spooky, y'all.
Hey, sweet, I found a pickaxe outside. I'm gonna go check see what that's about.
No,
It's spooky.
get away from that.